It's National Championship Day. The Natty right in front of our face, and we've got a Moon Man extraordinaire drop right here, right now, on this show. When the National Championship game is about to kick off, the Fantasy Football Show begins right now. File on in, young men.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
But Smitty, we already have another rookie quarterback sitting on one of the bold prediction lists, Smitty. How can we afford to have another one? Aren't you scared that maybe rookie quarterbacks won't do well? I'll tell you one thing, pal. We've got another announcement that is related to a rookie quarterback, and he's right on the screen. His name is Michael Penix Jr. He's about to play ball right now, and your boy's been telling you he's probably the number one or number two quarterback in this draft class. And I'm telling you, we're going to all see it on a stage, a spotlight, the national championship game. And everybody who's saying this guy, and there are so many people saying it right now, he's not going to be a top 10 pick. He's not going to be a top 15 pick. He's a second rounder. Mel Kiper called him a second rounder. You know what's so funny is when you and we and us were ahead of the curve, and this had to happen. This had to happen before this game, because this spotlight about to be cast on this young man is going to vault him into the spotlight even greater and put him on the map, and he's going to be in consideration for a top 5 to 10 overall pick, if not higher, depending on what he does. Now, he could go out and crap the bed tonight and not be a top 5 to 10 overall pick off of this matchup. That's the price of admission. That's what playing ball is all about. And this man, Michael Penix Jr., is about to make his name tonight. He's already a big prospect. He's already a top 4 quarterback. Get on your horse. I give you Moon Man number 1 for the 2024 fantasy football season, Michael Penix Jr.
The Moon Man, dropping loads in outer space.
Look at this man. This is Moon Man number 1. Moon Man number 1, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. We've got the Saturn men.
The Saturn men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
JD 5. Jaden Daniels is a Saturn man.
The Moon Man.
And Penix Jr.
Loads in outer space.
Penix Jr. is a Moon Man. Two extraordinaires. Now, Smitty, just wait a second. Smitty, wait a second. Whoa. Whoa. Smitty, I don't understand. Where's Caleb Williams? No one's saying Caleb Williams is bad. No one's saying Caleb Williams can't be the number 1 rookie quarterback in this class. I mean, for conversation's sake, landing spot's going to determine a lot. Nobody's sitting here suggesting that we have a handle on who the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 quarterbacks are. J.J. McCarthy playing tonight could work his way into a top 3 quarterback spot. No one knows. No one knows. Nobody knows anything yet, because landing spot is half the battle. But what I'm going to tell you right now is there's so much hate going on about Penix. Just like this comment here. No offense, James. I'm not trying to call you out necessarily. But isn't he like 30 years old? He's not a top 10 pick, Smitty? You're out of your mind. I can't believe you have him over Caleb Williams in terms of skill set. And landing spot could flip Caleb to the number 1 pick. Let me make myself absolutely clear that if Caleb or J.J. McCarthy or Penix Jr. or the man you just saw, JD5, lands in the most ideal situation, that quarterback could become this show's number 1 ranked rookie quarterback, and that's not flip-flopping. This is called us being out in front, trying to make predictions blindly with blinders on because we have no idea where these guys are going to land. Penix Jr. is on the stage right now. Blake Corum, Rome Odunze, J.J. McCarthy, Penix Jr. All four of these bad boys are in the spotlight right now, able to do what nobody else can do in college football. Give one more show. Give one more what have you done for me lately moment. Give you one more, okay, I remember that person last. They're the one that did something last. I remember them last. Kind of like during pro days and combines, whoever goes last has a little bit of a lasting impression. You know, that's why a lot of people like to go last in terms of their pro day workout. Having this opportunity, this stage is great for Blake Corum. It's great for Odunze. It's great for McCarthy, and especially great for a guy in Penix Jr. who, let me remind everybody that's here, had 35 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and 46-48 passing yards. This man threw the ball 504 times, and he's turned Odunze into arguably a top 1 to 3 wide receiver prospect. Now, of course, we all have Marvin Harrison Jr. and Neighbors as the 1 and 2 on paper. The de facto 1 and 2. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But Odunze might prove to you tonight. He's given the stage tonight. He's got the opportunity right now in his kung fu grip, as does McCarthy, as does Corum, as does Penix Jr. And all these guys, these ballers, these absolute monsters. And don't take away from the offense and defensive lines in this game. There's going to be so much talent, first and second round talent, going in this upcoming 2024 NFL draft. Where everybody lands will determine everything. Everything. There's no flip-flopping here. This is not a flip-flopping Freddie or change my mind Charlie. This is being real. This is coming out in front and saying, you know what? When we don't know what is going to happen at this current moment in time, we don't know where these guys are going to land. I'm going to make my bold prediction and stake my claim here on Penix Jr. dropping loads in the national championship game against Michigan in a very hard-fought battle, a very good defensive test. And if this man can go out there and even if he loses at the end of the game, but have a marvelous, miraculous performance against this Michigan team that's supposed to steamroll Washington tonight, if he can look fantastic on all levels, regardless of win, lose, or draw, guess what Penix Jr. is going to do for himself? Pave a way to be a top 10 overall pick, land in an Atlanta Falcons situation potentially. Penix Jr. to the Falcons will be absolutely marvelous. Penix Jr. in a number of situations will be fantastic. This guy's a gunslinger. I just showed you the stats. 4,600 yards, 35 touchdowns, 9 INTs, the ability to drop back and be a gunslinger. The ability to go into a game and take it over and throw for 300 yards. The ability to be an absolute monster anytime he's called upon. And let me see if I've got his game log stats that I can throw on here and pull up. I think I have them somewhere. Penix, let me see if I have them. They're somewhere around here. I might have to do another screenshot on this. Penix Jr. is a 300-yard baller. This is a 3 and 4 touchdown type of guy. This is a guy that when the game's on the line and you need to throw a 40, 50-yard missile with touch down the field and put it in the player's breadbasket, this is who you call upon. This is a moon man extraordinaire. Are we guaranteed anything? I've already said that, Bob. No, we aren't. We aren't guaranteed a good landing spot at all. We don't even know if this guy's going to go out there and crap the bed tonight and take himself out of any sort of talk of being a top 10, 15 overall pick. We have no clue, but we're here for it. I'm ready for it. You're ready for it. We're here. Penix Jr. to the moon. Penix Jr. is the first moon man extraordinaire.
The moon men dropping loads in outer space.
Mashed potatoes!
Let's take some phone calls. Let's take some hater phone calls, some whatever. I know not everybody's on board this call. And that wouldn't be the first time that's happened on this channel. And to be frank, what is the Moon Men anyway? It's a bold prediction list. It's not going to jive with everybody. In fact, you'll see a very few negative Noahs in the chat on this right now. Everybody's got kind of an open mind. But I think what you're going to see are a lot of people in the comments later coming in going, he's not the real deal, Smitty. You're crazy for liking him over Caleb Williams. You're absolutely insane for liking him over Caleb Williams. Just wait. Just wait. We've got, I think, about 30 minutes until kickoff here. 35 minutes until kickoff here. 35 minutes until an amazing national championship game kicks off. The fight for the natty. Who's gonna bring home the glory? Who's gonna outshine the other? Will everybody shine bright anyway and improve their draft stock? Very possible. Win, lose, or draw. You can lose this game as a Blake Corum or a JJ McCarthy or a Penix Jr. You can lose this game and still vault your draft stock upward in an upward trajectory to the point of no return, to the point of a top 10 overall pick for McCarthy. McCarthy could be the number 2 or number 3 QB off the board during the 2024 NFL draft. 100%. Number 1 QB off the board. Number 1 overall, it's leaning toward Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is probably the number 1 overall pick. Freddie Ortiz says, don't sleep on Caleb. No one's sleeping on Caleb. He's the number 1 ranked player in the nation. He's probably the odds-on favorite to be the number 1 overall pick. JP, where you been, bro? JP, this is the first time I've seen you in like a year and a half. JP.
To the moon.
To the moon, pal. Where you been, bro? I usually don't watch college, but I'll watch tonight rooting for Jim Harbaugh. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. Go Blue says D-Town. Silver says I'm going for Washington. Joel says, hey, Smitty. Hey, everyone. Abe says, what's going on, everyone? Appreciate everybody filing on in. Let's take some phone calls on this topic right here.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Ray G with a $250 super chat so far this month. And Perps with a $2.99, the 2 highest super chatters of a live stream in a single super chat. So you guys have the spread there on the phone line graphic. Appreciate you guys dropping that. You guys are absolutely amazing. Just because I have Caleb as my 3 or 4 ranked QB, which doesn't settle well with a lot of people. There are a lot of Caleb Williams fans, and I get it, and I don't blame anybody, and there's nothing wrong with Caleb. Caleb could still be a top 12 fantasy football quarterback, like in the right spot. It's not like he can't be the number 1 QB on my board. And again, for anybody that comes in here later and says, oh, you flip-flop on your rankings, who else is coming out here and giving a bold statement and ranking before we have landing spots, before we even have the national championship game played? Nobody. So I'm going to put myself out there, and I'm telling you right now up front, landing spot will change everything. Could change everything. But sometimes when we look at a player like in the case of a JD5, who's a Saturn man, I might remind you.
The Saturn Men.
When we look at a guy like Penix Jr., who is a moon man, might I remind you?
The moon men.
We're anticipating that their values climb. This game tonight, this spotlight game that I think in hindsight people are going to be like, oh yeah, we knew he was a top 5 pick. That's not that bold, Smitty. It is bold. It is bold, believe me, because very few content creators, very few scouts, very few color commentators, analysts out there will tell you that Penix Jr. is going in the top 10, let alone the first round. Mel Kiper said he was going in the second round. He's a second round prospect. Well, I got news for you. That's nothing a national championship can't fix, or at least a very close try, a nice college try. No pun intended. If Penix goes out there and wins a national championship and throws for 4 touchdowns, do you really think he's lingering outside the top 10 overall in a spotlight game against Michigan? Now, there is the risk that he goes out there, throws 2 INTs, has 1 touchdown, doesn't look great, 200 yards passing. There is that risk, and we will come back. We will talk about it. We'll swing around, and we'll say, well, what's next? Is he still a sleeper? Is he gonna fall? Could he fall to the right team? Does one game define a man? One game can vault him up. Does one game tear him down? We'll have to talk about that as well. Let's go over to Theo, who's live. Theo, what can I do for you, young man? You're live.
Yeah, about Michael Penix. I'm definitely going to be rooting for him tonight. But what happens if he plays badly and then you still have him on your Moon Man list, and it's just like...
We'll play it by ear.
Shouldn't it?
We'll play it by ear.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it what? Shouldn't I wait? No.
Shouldn't you have just waited?
No. Why would I wait?
All right.
Why would I wait?
I mean, because it's like 2 hours away.
So?
I mean,
am I not gonna put? Am I gonna play? Am I gonna play it safe? Like, am I gonna be a play it safe, Peter?
No, you're a pretty bold guy. So
yeah. I mean, is that what you want me to do? You want me to take him off the Moon Man list right now, back the whole show up, and just say, hey, after the show when Penix blows up and everybody quickly jumps on the train we've been talking about. It's not like I'm coming out tonight saying it. We just officially christened him on the Moon Man list. I've had a video on this. We've talked about Penix Jr. for over a week now straight, just saying he and Jay. So it's like, this is like the christening party, you know? And it's like, who wants somebody to come in and say after he throws 4 touchdowns, and I'm not saying he will, and there's that risk that he goes out there and craps the bed. It won't really change my opinion too much. If anything, I think
And there's also the risk that... Never mind.
The risk of what? What, Theo? What are we doing here?
Of him getting drafted to the wrong team, and then...
Okay, so Theo, what do you want me to do? You want me to make my bold predictions list down after week 1?
No,
is that what you want? Are you on here asking that? What are you talking about?
Definitely not.
You know what time it is, bro. You weren't born yesterday. You were here last year. Should I wait until Breece Hall recovered fully from his ACL tear there, Theo? Before I put him on the
you already know what team he's on.
I know, but he coming back from a little ACL poo. Shouldn't we just wait a year like everybody said? Remember when I put Breece Hall on the Marsman list, Smitty? Breece Hall 2024, not 2023. ACL tears, players don't come back from an ACL tear. You let me decide who comes back from an ACL tear. And everything in the world pointed toward him being ready. Unlike Barkley, his first year back from an ACL tear. Unlike JK, they were completely different scenarios. But what are we supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? You want me to wait? I'm just saying, Breece Hall. What if I would have waited on Breece Hall? Okay, I'm just saying, if I would have waited on Breece Hall, how would that have helped anybody? No, he was like the number 3, number 4.
No, it wouldn't. But okay. I trust that you'll adjust and adapt if he gets drafted to one of those.
Of course I would. What am I going to do? Let's say Bill Belichick stays in New England and he gets drafted by the Patriots. Like, he's going to take a little bit of a hit, at least for a while. Like, that's the way it is. If let's say, like, I said that for like 5 minutes straight, that situation's everything. You know, Caleb Williams is not my number 1 or my number 2 ranked quarterback on talent assessment. This is January, bro. We're January 8th. This is, by the way, happy Arthur Smith fired day. January 8th will always be in our hearts. Where were you on January 8th when Arthur Smith was fired? I was on the show watching. But, bro, as of right now, and this is talent assessment mode, We don't have landing
Yeah,
spots.
yeah.
We don't have anything.
His talent's definitely Moon Man material, but we just, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's like D Philly says, Smitty, you told me to keep Barkley this year instead of Hall. I told you. Yeah, sure, bro. Nice try coming into my live stream and trying to tell me I told you to keep Barkley over Breece Hall. Nice try, D Philly. What was I saying? Oh, so yeah, bro. I mean, come on. I don't know what else I can tell anybody than that this point in January we have to go on talent assessment. We have nothing else. We'll of course adjust and adapt. If Caleb goes to the very best spot and the rest of the 3 or 4 quarterbacks go to really crappy scenarios, do you think I'm not gonna I'm not gonna like change it up? Like, of course I will.
No.
Situation is everything.
Will, yeah.
All right, hey, hold on, Theo. Let me go over to a DeBalt. DeBalt, you're live.
Hey, what's going on, Smitty?
What's up?
Hey, I just laughing at that whole because we all know the Moon Man is a bold take, so it's a hit or miss, but this is what you believe, and I don't know anybody questions that. You've said that time and time again. But going down to the game tonight, it's the Natty. This is where players are tested, and if they can overcome huge, stressful environments, make the big plays. I mean, I'm not saying that all these players are going to do great, but look at Stetson Bennett. I mean, sure, he balled out, but let's just be honest. The Natty wasn't against TCU. It was against Ohio State. And that was a great game. Penix, I believe, is going to ball.
And he may or may not. He may or may not. And of course, like I said, though, if he doesn't ball, then we adjust and adapt. But it doesn't mean that, to Theo's question, if let's say Penix Jr. goes out and it doesn't look awful, but he doesn't look amazing, I'm not necessarily going to take him off the Moonman list. Then we got to look at, okay, is he going to fall to a really good spot? But will he be more of a sleeper? Will he go on some other, sleeping giant list? We've done that before, where we put a guy on a list based on talent assessment, and then we've kind of notched him down. We did that with JSN. We put JSN on the, what would we call it? The midseason monster list. So JSN was a bold prediction at one point, or a Moon Man, and we moved him to the midseason monster list. So if Penix Jr. doesn't come out of this game looking like a top 10 pick, let's say Penix Jr. landed in a bad situation where he probably wouldn't start, but there was an open door potentially to improve some things, there 100% would be an opportunity for me to take him. And this is no backtrack Bobby or anything like that. Take him and move him and slide him over to the midseason monster list. That happens all the time. That's not a big deal. It's better that we talk about these things up front, get people aware of who could break out, who can be an absolute monster, and who can potentially, maybe be somebody that's going to come around later and be an absolute monster.
I agree. I still believe Penix is going to ball. Trust me, if anyone knows that team up north, it's me, because I hate them. I'm a Buckeye fan, stick it through. That's my number one team of all sports. But I know what they have. And J.J. McCarthy is going to be okay. Blake Corum is going to be the one we got to worry about. And I believe he's going to be a steal in the draft. I love my Travion Henderson, but Blake Corum's kind of got that Breece Hall type of skill set.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll admit I didn't love Blake Corum a ton last year because I think he needed a lot more work and refinement, and he needed to go back to school. This year coming out, this is adjust and adapt. This is nothing more than adjust and. This is the perfect example of adjust and adapt. I think if Blake Corum would have come out last year, he wouldn't have succeeded. I don't think he was ready at all. No. He looks really solid right now. He's very refined. He looks very, very focused. His attitude's on point. He's a remarkable human being too, a remarkable player. Got a great mind and head on his shoulders. And I think if he goes into the right situation, he really could succeed. So that was the perfect decision. That was a smart decision to go back and play again and gain some gain some ability, some quickness, some speed. So I actually don't mind Blake Corum at all. I really think he looks good walking into the 2024 NFL draft situation versus 2023. I think he would have probably got drafted in the wrong spot. Not a lot of teams are drafting running backs high except for, the two that did. And so who knows where he would have went. So, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
agree,
good.
but I believe that that team of North hasn't seen a quarterback like Penix at all. And trust me, Kyle McCord, I knew he was risky this year. But
Yeah.
I believe in Penix, and I believe Mickey P is gonna ball. He's ready.
It's gonna
See what happens.
it's gonna be an absolute freaking fun game, exciting game. A lot of players teeter-tottering on like being in the top 2 or 3 of their position, and big performances are going to give them that nudge that they need. Like even Dunze, like this guy's teeter-tottering on the 2, 3, 4 wide receiver ranking territory, and if he goes out and has a 2-touchdown game and 100 yards, like guess what? People are starting to talk about him as the 2. And then, I'm not saying Neighbors isn't the 2, and some have Neighbors 1, some have Neighbors 2. I get it. There's 3, 4 really good wide receivers, and some even like Neighbors more than Marvin Harrison Jr. Similar to like the Bijan Gibbs debate. It feels like there's a little bit of that going on with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Neighbors, but Odunze is going to show people that he deserves to be in maybe he's at the lower end of that tier, but he's maybe in that same tier, so we'll see what he does in this game. But this is a phenomenal 3 wide receivers. Corum, definitely up there with, I think, Henderson, my rookie running back. I don't want to give away too much. My rookie running back video is coming. I don't think that this is anything close to the Breece Hall class. This isn't anything close to the Gibbs and Bijan class of running back, but in the right landing spot, we've seen players become monsters, so absolutely feel like, we could see Corum go to the perfect spot and be a top 10 running back in the NFL. Absolutely. Everything, ADP determines everything in fantasy drafting, and location is more than half the battle in the NFL in terms of producing and translating on the field, 100%.
Oh, without a doubt, Benny. It's going to be a great one tonight. It's going to be a good one.
All right, Theo, appreciate you. Anything else, Theo, before I cycle through the phone line, pal?
No, that's it. I definitely respect your take. I can't wait to watch the game. Yeah, I trust you and definitely adapt if anything goes wrong. So have a good night.
Later. Anything else to bolt?
You're great, man. Can't wait for this game.
All right. Later, pal. Yeah, Arthur Smith being fired was glorious. All right, let's add a couple other people. 571 caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
What up, bro? It's Banky.
Banky?
Yeah, what's up?
Banky from where?
I'm from Virginia.
Virginia. What's up, Banky?
All right, Ben. All right. Sorry. Smitty. It's like your A-Chan call all over again. I faded that call, and I was wrong. I'll give you my credit. I'll give you your credit.
You'll give me your credit? You'll give me your... Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll give you your credit. I was wrong. You were right. I was a little bit more hesitant on him than I should have been, and I missed out on some big leagues. So you got me on that. So you're up. Smitty 1, Banky 0.
Thank you, Banky. Thank you, Banky.
But with this Penix call...
Penix? This Penix call? His name's Penix. Not... You're already getting this one wrong, Banky. His name's Penix, not Penix.
Penix.
Rise from the Penix?
It's just like, I feel like you're trying so hard to fade Caleb, bro. I just feel like you're just going out of your way to fade Caleb when you know Caleb's the one.
So do you trust me at all? Do you trust me at all, bro? When I say do you trust me at all, I don't mean that like, do you trust me like no matter what, I'm going to be 100% right. I've always told you I'm going to miss 25% of everything that comes out of my mouth on this channel, and that would make me the most accurate analyst on the planet Earth that's ever lived. Like 25% is a lot. Okay, so hold on a second. Hold on. So I'm admitting to you that 25% of what I'm going to say is going to be wrong. That's a glorious percentage too. And so this could be that. Penix could be, and I'm also going out on a very big limb to do this before the game kicks off because I have a chance of watching Penix tank in his draft stock, and then we've got to address that. And I don't know that I'd necessarily remove him from the Moonman list. He just would probably, if I had to guess, if his draft stock dropped and he went to a weird location, he'd go to the midseason monster section or some kind of dynasty sleeper in waiting or something like that because I do think he would rise. You know, we've seen a lot of quarterbacks rise from a bench. It's not a big of a thing. It's just it wouldn't be an exciting rookie year or whatever. But here's the thing I don't like. Don't you think by now I am saying what I truly believe? Do you not trust me at all to think that I'm just going to come out here and try and make a wave and not worry about being right? Like, don't you think that I have a little bit invested in not coming out here and taking a big swing and falling flat on my face tonight? And I'm just out here because of Caleb? It has nothing to do with Caleb. I like Caleb, and if you listen to what I said, I even said if Caleb goes to the number 1 spot, then he could be my number 1 ranking. And no offense, Banky, but I think you being here going, Smitty, you flip-flop. Now you like Caleb when I've already started the beginning. Hold on. I started the beginning of the show saying that landing spot will determine who the number 1 quarterback is. Absolutely. But I'm banking on this kid's talent tonight, putting him in a position to be that guy, to get drafted into a great spot. But we'll see. We'll see, Banky. I'm glad you came around on HN. All right, what else you got? I'll let you have the floor if you need anything else you want to get off your chest.
No, I mean, how about I give you one more credit? Half a credit. The Bijan call last season, I wasn't with the rookie running back. You turned me to a believer, and I appreciate that. And I'm ready to go in with Bijan next year, full force, no Arthur Smith. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. And, regardless of us having different opinions, none of that matters. It's okay. We're not always going to agree.
No, it's about me. You always turn me. You turn me eventually.
Yeah, so, I hope that you kind of feel like maybe, this is not me trying to just go out and make a big splash, bro. I'm actually trying to be right every single time I open my mouth, bro. I'm not trying to just say something bold and then I realize that this one right here from Josh. Josh says, "Sorry, Smitty. Your QB rankings and mine are vastly different." Well,
Smitty, I got faith in you. I don't think you're just out here trying to make. It's a good call. It's a research call. You're just not out here picking some bum saying, "Oh no, get this guy."
Josh,
I mean, he got the.
I'm just sad right now because Josh says, "I'm sorry, Smitty, but our rankings are just vastly different." It's okay, Josh. I'll get over it. Sorry, Banky. Go ahead.
Nah, Smitty. I'm ready to get on I'm ready to ride the Penix when it's
Stop saying that, bro. What are you doing? I'm sorry.
Finish him. Call terminated.
What did he just say? He was ready. He was ready to ride. What is going on here? Okay, J4, you're live. Keep it clean.
How are you, Smitty?
I don't know. I really don't.
Let's see how Penix does tonight. But I'd just like to ask you, who are the other players in this game tonight that we should all be focusing on for a fantasy perspective next year?
I mean, bro, that's what the whole show's about. I got 3 of them right here.
The Saturn Men.
One small step.
And then I've got one hopefully tonight.
The Moon Man.
So we're unveiling that slowly but surely, but I can't give the secrets out on one show. We're doing this every day. Like, name another channel that's gone out on a limb like this. You can't, because we do it live with 3.5 hour live streams. We got I'm live Monday through Friday. That's the whole point of the show. but we'll unveil one breakout sleeper at a time, probably one a week. Four between all the planets, 4 releases already by January 8th. 's a lot. Like we're almost one-third. We're almost like 1/6 full of the slots. So we're doing it. We're doing it, bro.
That's good. I just also wanted to ask you, what do you think of Drake May?
I like him. I think.
I think right now all the mocks have him going to New England at 3. I think it's crazy because he's not explosive. I don't see the explosiveness from him, like I see with Jaden McDaniels especially.
Yeah, I think May concerns me a little bit because the hype is really high, but he's certainly a good quarterback. Like I said at the beginning, bro, that if McCarthy goes to the best spot, he could be the number 1 quarterback. If Penix Jr. goes to the best spot, he could be. If Caleb Williams goes to the best spot, let's say Caleb Williams goes to Atlanta and every other one of these quarterbacks goes to like New England and Washington. Not that Washington couldn't be good, if they got the right pieces in place, but like there's a lot of reasons why you'd say Caleb's by far and away in the best spot, and then he's the number 1. And I even said that about 5 different times, maybe 7 different times on this live stream, and I know people aren't going to hear it because people like to hear what they want to hear. Landing spot is everything. Landing spot is everything. The captains are the captains are walking out right now for the toss. What'd you say?
Look at Anthony Richardson last year. He went into a good spot for the time that he was healthy. He did great.
Even better example would be look at Tom Brady. That's not the easiest example to ever use. You can't just throw Tom Brady's name around like crazy, but I'm just saying, like, this guy had 400 yards and 2,600 yards, I think, in his 2 college seasons. Like, he showed nothing. Like, we worry about Drake May having, like, a lesser statistical year in 2023. That's kind of why some people, and like myself, are a little bit like, okay, I don't know yet. But, like, Tom Brady had 20 like under 2,600 yards or whatever it was. That's insane. Like nobody, look at his 40-yard dash. Look at him standing there with his shirt off. Like Tom Brady did not look like the guy. So my whole point is that I'm not trying to say McCarthy is Tom Brady or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. But could McCarthy be the best quarterback in this draft class? Absolutely could be. Could Caleb be, or could Caleb be overhyped? And it's tough to say. Landing spot will certainly, like, does anybody think Bryce Young is as bad as Bryce Young was this year? It's the landing spot. The landing spot was garbage. And I don't think he's near as good as Stroud at all. Like, and I'll admit that I should have been higher on Stroud than I was in the offseason. That you could say that's an L, not seeing how good Stroud could be. But sometimes you don't know until these guys get in there. I don't pretend to have my handle on every single player pre-entrance to the NFL, because some people evolve them in amazing fashion. Some people get just the right coaching they need. So, like, if one of these quarterbacks goes to the same situation that Bryce Young went to, I don't think this quarterback's going to do as well as I might think right now when we don't know that they're going to the bad situation. So, situation is 100% everything. Everything. Would Kyren Williams even be on our minds at all if he wasn't in McVay's system? I'm not saying Kyren didn't turn into the player he is now. Like, if Kyren were to, let's say, get traded to the 49ers tomorrow because McCaffrey got abducted by aliens and was never coming back or whatever, safely, but he got abducted, Kyren Williams would be a top 1 to 5 running back in San Francisco. If Kyren Williams got traded to, I don't know, another situation that's glorious, he'd be a top 5 running. Like, he is who he is now. National championship game has just kicked off. He is who he is right now. That's not going to change. But would we have even seen him evolve or even been, at the forefront if he wasn't there with McVay in the right situation with the right coach that believed in him, that fed him, that got rid of Cam Akers? I don't think so. This was not something that was supposed to happen, and it did, because everything lined up perfectly. Arian Foster was not supposed to happen, but it did, because it all lined up properly. Tom Brady was never going to happen if all those little things didn't go right for him and him get shoved into the lineup on one day due to injury, that was never supposed to happen. Kurt Warner would have 100% not happened, and it didn't happen for a long time until Vermeil said, this guy is the guy. Even though his own offensive coordinator in KC said, I don't want Kurt Warner in the lineup. Trent Green went down. Let's make a trade. Vermeil said, no, I want Kurt Warner to start week 1. The rest is history. So everything is about situation, bro. Everything. All right. Hey, appreciate you, JFR. Good luck if you've got any stake in the game tonight. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Later. All right, guys, let's watch a few of these snaps here. We got Michigan with the football. It's 14:21 left on the clock, so we're just about 40 seconds into the game. Nice little strike across the middle. McCarthy looking smooth, looking precise. McCarthy, I know it's easy to talk about oh, what if McCarthy is this underrated, guy, look at Tom Brady, Michigan. It's easy to draw those conclusions, you know what I'm saying? And he kind of reminds you of Tom Brady, when you look at him, just his stature, the way he kind of lines up, but yeah, no one's saying he is. He's not he's in the conversation of a top 5 QB in this class for sure. Corum gets the handoff. Corum, nice little run, about 8-yard run, push. Oh, his helmet came off. Protect the man. Nice little push. The only thing about Corum that's a little concerning is that he's smaller. He's compact. He's a tough, hard runner. I think he could survive at the next level, but he's got to be in a good spot. He's got to be in the right situation. All right. Purdy was a dog. This is peanut butter and waivers. Corum. Or is that Corum? No, it's not Corum. First down, Michigan, 1st and 10, 13:04 left. Corum's back on the field now. Corum's going to have about 100 yards in this game, at least. Can't wait to see the outcome of this game. This game, it's just an exciting game. I haven't been this excited about a natty game in a while. It's been some time. Guys, Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Make sure you get on over to Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Corum, fake handoff to Corum. Nice little fake. McCarthy, first down. McCarthy's looking sharp. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Some of you guys, depending on where you're at, can do pick'ems in certain states for college football. Not every state is the same. Just because you can do pick'ems doesn't mean you can do college in your state. So you got to check it out. It'll also tell you if you try it. If you can do normal pick'ems, NFL pick'ems, but you try to do a college pick'em, it'll tell you your location. You can't proceed. But Ron Navy, you're live.
Hey, did I hear you say that Stroud's better than Young?
Oh yeah, of course he is. I mean, hey, not everything is gonna be, everything's evolving. I'm not gonna land everything, and sometimes, some of the guys I've loved the most that have been Moonman, Marsman, big predictions aren't always guys that pop off right at the onset. Sometimes guys mature at different levels. And my example of Bryce Young was I think Bryce Young's better than he looks right now. I don't think he's as good as Stroud at all. And I think if they swapped, we would see Bryce Young succeed like Stroud is at all. But I think we would not see Stroud succeed anywhere close to where Stroud's succeeding. And that's not a knock on Stroud. That's just situation is very important in the NFL. Just like my example of Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner was one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. And we would have never seen him emerge. He would have never been given a shot. He was already given shots and turned down if he didn't land in the perfect situation, which groomed him, turned him into who he was and all that. So I do think, Bryce Young isn't necessarily a bust yet, but his situation is so bad, I don't know that he escapes it. I think he ends up getting washed out just by that situation not improving fast enough for him. But it's crazy.
happens.
Whoa! Michigan!
Unfortunately.
Touchdown. Wow.
Who scored it?
Edwards. That was
I remember I told you to love Edwards.
That was a wide open rush, 41-yard touchdown. Donovan Edwards, nice job. This is going to be hopefully this is a high-scoring game. I want this to be like a 45, 40.
I think Edwards is coming out this year too, right? I mentioned Edwards last year to you that I really like him, even though Corum's the featured back.
Yeah, he's pretty good. It kind of reminds me of like James Cook or maybe even a better example would be what was it? Josh Jacobs and Damian Harris. Like, just like they almost kind of are in each other's way a little bit. Corum's going to go high, but once they
Edwards
get to
don't get the volume. That's the problem.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He doesn't get any near the volume.
Yeah, he's not.
But like the same as like you were saying with Corum, if Edwards goes to the right place, he could. Really, I think he could.
Kind of like James Cook. Like James Cook needed to go to a good place, and he did. But I also don't believe in James Cook like everybody else does in terms of like longevity. I don't think James Cook is. Not to get on the James Cook topic, but I don't think he's. First of all, he's in an offense that's not going to ever fully 100% commit to using their running back the same way week in and week out and year out. Like it's ever evolving, and they constantly abandon the run. You think they're going into a new year, running the football, and then they don't. But yeah, I think
Singletary goes down to Houston and he's running the heck out of the ball.
Yeah,
right?
Singletary. Yeah.
I mean, Buffalo stinks for running backs. I'm sorry, but
yeah, it's not a good spot.
White Marshawn Lynch left.
Their run game is Josh Allen and short passes. That's their run game. But, Cook has the ability to explode, but it's not something that's going to be close, to consistent at all. Anyway. So, yeah, good start. We'll see Penix Jr. come out here in his first drive, and hopefully this is a high-scoring game. I don't care who really wins or loses. I mean, of course, I'm going to be rooting for some sort of like last-second Penix touchdown, but I'll just be happy if this is like a 40 to 40-something game. Lots of scoring. Corum over 100 yards. Odunze over 100 and a touch. McCarthy, 2-3 touchdowns. Penix Jr., 2-3-4 touchdowns. Like, that's enough for me. Like, I'll be happy. I'll be excited. I'll be ear to ear. That's all I care about. I care about a great game. I don't even want, like, this to be a blowout. Not that it will be, because Michigan's defense is amazing, and obviously they're up 7-0. But I don't even want this to be a blowout on one side of it. I want it to be high-scoring affair. Just a lot of production.
Harbaugh's a damn good coach.
Yeah.
And I'm a Penn State. I've always been a Penn State fan, but when it comes down to the championship, the Big Ten's in there. I'm going with the Big Ten. So I'm going with Michigan all the way.
I mean, they're definitely the most everyone's pick, so it's not crazy. Not crazy.
No.
Underdogs definitely Washington, but this like I said, I kind of envision this coming down to I just want Penix to look good, even if he loses. Then I think he's going to improve his draft stock a lot. But if he wins a national championship, that's going to be a whole different spotlight and opportunity. So we'll see.
Did I hear you say yesterday? Did you say like you had a lot of family from the Buffalo area?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, about half my family's from Buffalo.
Well, where I grew up in Pennsylvania, right up there. I mean, New York was 13 miles. Jamestown, New York's 13 miles directly north. Buffalo's only a couple hours away, and that's where my Met station was when I joined the Navy. I had to go to Buffalo.
Nice.
So Buffalo's fun. It's like where I live. Either you're a diehard Pittsburgh fan or you're a diehard Buffalo fan. It's both in that area because it's so close to both.
Yeah. There a lot of New Yorkers always say Buffalo's not even in New York. It's not a part of. It's not really New York. They're always outcasted.
Their own think
They're-
that New York consists.
Yeah, they're TM42, do you think this year was an anomaly for tight ends, or do you see 2024 rookie class being impressive? Okay, handoff. Here we go. Washington, nice little gainer there. Do I think it's an anomaly? Yeah, I mean, it's an anomaly in that I don't want to say it's an anomaly and define it that way as if it's like it was not deserving or predictable. Like, this tight end class was said to be the best tight end class we've seen in over a decade, or maybe ever will for a long time, and it was. Like, so I wouldn't say anomaly makes me feel like it was like a blip and a glitch on the rate. Like, it was definitely a product of the tight end position evolving. Penix Jr. back, first down, marching down the field. This is going to be a high scoring game. I think that we're going to see a step back because everything's a cycle. Just like Bijan and Gibbs were like two of the better running backs, I think, to come out as a duo that we've seen in a long time. Not the, Breece Hall, Walker, that wasn't great. It's obviously great. Achane, like this rookie running back class was absolutely off the chain. And so it's going to potentially, it's not always back to back with these things. Sometimes it's like a little bit of a cycle. Just like the quarterbacks, like Stroud's amazing, obviously. Top 4 to 6 quarterback for the future. This quarterback class feels different. This quarterback class feels like it can produce 3 or 4 Strouds, but landing spot's going to make it to where only 1 or 2 of them actually emerge. Probably. But this has that many quarterbacks in it. Like, so tight end, I don't feel that way. You got Bowers, you got a good class, but it's not the same class at all. I mean, you throw Luke Musgrave into this tight end class, he might go number 1 out of all the tight ends. So, like, there was such a good class, bro. The tight end class was amazing. Kincaid's coming on strong, just like we talked about, hitting that rookie wall a little later, kind of the tail end of the season instead of week 10, 11, 12. So I think the position to answer the root of your question is, do I think the tight end position is changing? Yes, I do. I think that wide receivers explode in year 1. This is not the Larry Fitzgerald days when Larry Fitzgerald and wide receivers back then came out of college. There were 800 yards and 3-4 touchdowns max. They were not going to help you in fantasy. You got laughed in your face if you drafted a rookie wide receiver back in the early 2000s or even like 1995 to 2003, whatever that range was. You got laughed. People laughed in your face. You're drafting a rookie wide receiver in redraft. Are you out of your mind? Now you could be a top 5 wide receiver. Now quarterbacks always took a year. If you sit your rookie quarterback his rookie year, people look at you dumbfounded. Like, how in the hell are you a coach? How in the hell are you a decision maker? If you draft a Penix Jr., if you draft a CJ Stroud, if you draft a Joe Burrow, a Justin Herbert, JD5, these are not players you sit anymore. The college game's evolved too. It's like it's like a step right into the NFL, whereas it was a big adjustment back in the day. Running backs have always been able to step right in. They've always
2 to
been
3 years. Remember?
Yeah, but tight ends have been the lagging position that still didn't translate. Remember Hawkinson, his rookie year, caught I think 100 yards and a touchdown his week 1, then didn't do anything the rest of the season. This is now, I believe, the tight end position is catching up, and I do think every position now can step right in. And I think so. To answer your question, I think the root of this is that, yes, I do believe that the tight end position is changing, and we will see whoever is your top ranked guy. Bowers could step in and be a top 6-7 tight end immediately. Let's see here. Washington is 2nd and 10. They run the ball. It's a flag. Thank you for the super chat, TM42 to the Moon Pal. I got a couple other supers here, Ron. Hold on 1 second. Let me get these. This one's a $5 hauler, barn burner tonight. Let's go, JP. JP, where you been? So glad to see you, but we haven't seen you in a while. Appreciate you being here, pal. Hope all is well. JP, like Alex Cruz and a few others are like the OGs. Like JP was here from the beginning. 1 QB 12 team have a terrible team with 0 depth in the 1.1. I want to split that into multiple assets. Where are you valuing MHJ? How much can I get for him? I would not turn him into 2 picks. If you're going to go away from Marvin Harrison Jr. and the value that he holds, do not turn it into draft picks. Turn it into players. Like, go get an Achane and a wide receiver. You know what I mean? Go get a doubted. Go get Bijan right now. You might be able to. The hype's going to be unreal right now, but I still think people are skeptical. Go get a potential quarterback, especially in a dynasty or keeper league. If your quarterback's horrible, like, go get Mahomes on the cheap right now with another piece or some sort of 2-for-2 that's crafty. Like, go get something that's longevity that you believe in for your team, but don't divide it into 2 lesser pieces and then you're like missing on both of them. Like, you turn this into 2 picks. Let's say someone gave you the 4 and 5 overall in the rookie draft. I hate that kind of trading, because what are you going to do? Think about who was 4 and 5 this year. Like, maybe you would have landed it right if you grabbed the right players, but you look at, like, even somebody we love, like JSN and Quentin Johnston, let's say, back to back. Was that worth, not having Gibbs or Bijan? Like, you got to, not only could you land one of them, but you have to land both of them for that to end up making sense. So make sure you're not dividing into 2 picks. I don't like that type of trading. The 1.1's worth a ton. The 1.1 should be easily worth the 12-13 turn. I pretty much always kind of have it vaulted right around that 8 to 15 overall territory, depending on the draft class. But if you're trading the 1.1, if you're not getting somebody that's borderline first rounder, I wouldn't trade it. You're talking about like Jamar Chase. Okay, as much as I'm worried about drafting him at 4 or 5, would I trade the 1.1 for Chase? Maybe. But I think you're better off going after, if you don't have a quarterback, going after a dynasty QB monster that's kind of a little undervalued right now. Hurts has been banged up, and I don't know if you'll be able to get him. Josh Allen, he's playing great fantasy-wise, so I don't know that anybody's going to necessarily devalue him. Mahomes is probably your best bet, and I do believe he's a gem for another decade. Like, I'm not worried at all about the longevity of Mahomes or anything like that. So 100%, who got injured in this game? Tell me that wasn't Penix Jr., bro. Oh, it's Johnson. Okay. Not that I'm happy anybody's hurt, but sorry, Johnson. I'm not. Yay, it's Johnson. It's Johnson. I don't mean that the way it came out, Johnson. Johnson, hope you get back to work real soon. All right, Penix from the gun.
Hope Penix injured.
What?
Because you better hope Penix don't get injured, because that'll flush everything right down the drain. He's already got injury concerns.
The nice thing about Penix, yeah, I get it. I get it. The injury, you said it. I know a lot of people say it, and they continue to say it in the chat, and I get it. But like 2 years have gone by now. Like, I'm just saying. Like, I understand there's been a lot of injuries, but 2 years have gone by. We might hear a lot of stories about how what he did to change that. Penix. Okay, 1st and 10. Kind of had to throw it away there. A little pressure. All right.
I got a topic. I got I guess. What did you think of what McAfee did, calling out his head executive there at ESPN, putting him right on the spot?
What did he say exactly?
He called him out there saying that executive's trying to sabotage the show.
I didn't quite hear all of it, but
released information, ratings information that wasn't true. That and he called him right out. He was just like, and everybody's like, wow, McAfee's got a set of balls on him to go after that. I mean, that guy's like been up there, but he pisses a lot of people off. But he called him right out, right on the show, by name.
Yeah, that's
right after the Aaron Rodgers thing came down. So everybody was wondering, what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. But I think McAfee's gonna, if they try to take Aaron from him or tell him that they can't have Aaron, he's gonna flip him the bird.
Yeah.
I think that's just what he'll do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to try and control him and the show. All right.
Yeah, I just thought it.
First down to about the 10-yard line. This is a good game, man. This is a really good game. 5 minutes, 45 seconds left. Washington draining quite a bit of clock on this drive. Johnson's back in the game. There we go.
To the moon.
Now I feel better. Poor guy.
Their pace needs to be bigger because I'm talking about Washington. They need to pick up the pace because they can't afford to have a slow taking because Michigan runs the ball so much. They won't have as many chances. So Washington needs to pick up the pace if they're going to have a chance of winning this game.
Or you could say they're just trying to make this an even Steven game at the end of the first quarter. Ain't bad. But yeah, I hear you.
No.
All right, later, Ron.
All
Appreciate
right,
you. Later. Washington down to about the 7. It's going to be 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal. Looks like somebody came in and gifted some memberships. Who did that? Who did that? Perps gifted 20 YouTube exclusive memberships. Perps, appreciate you. Perps to the moon.
To the moon.
Perps to the moon. Appreciate you, Perps. All right. 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal. Where's my football? Okay, timeout. Timeout. Blue 32. Let's score here. Let's keep this game going. 4 minutes and 4 seconds left in the first quarter. 3rd and goal. Could be a 7-3 game or a 7-7 game. Let's see what's up. Perps, appreciate you dropping that gifted membership as well, my guy. Perps to the freaking moon. If you got a gifted membership from Perps, please thank him, because he's always in here gifting and being an absolute monster. So put a W in the chat. Put a W in the chat for Perps if you wouldn't mind. Just put W. Perps will know it's for him. We've called for it. W in the chat. W. Doing it live. Perps with the win. All right. Here we go. Common Perps W. That's true. All right. I'm getting a little hungry.
Motion detected at the backyard.
Ziggy, show me the backyard.
Okay.
Let's see what's going on back there. Probably just the dog getting let out. Yeah. Ziggy off. All right. Commercial's almost up. We're going to see this 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal. This will be an interesting little play here, play call. I think they gotta throw it here. You never know. They've been running it like crazy. Kind of feel like they're not throwing enough.
Motion detected at the front door.
At the front door now. Ziggy, show me the front door. What are we doing here?
Okay.
What are we doing here? What do we got going on here? All right, this is just Miss Smitty. Ziggy off. All right, how long is this commercial? Like, what are we doing here? Is this an 8-minute timeout? Is this an 8-minute timeout or what? What game is on? The National Championship, Big O. The National Championship, pal. All right, here we go. Blue 32. Blue 32. Hatchback left. Flux capacitor 7. On 7. Let's go. Let's ride. Blue 32. Blue 32. It's an interesting formation. Number 2 in motion. Penix in the gun. Penix returns under center. Nope, he's just whispering a few little instructions. Goes back into the gun. Takes the snap. Ugh. Incomplete. 7-3. Assuming, pending the extra point. Puppy went to the front door. Let's hope not, bro. Let's hope not. This defense is really good, by the way. They're a tough D. This is a tough matchup for Penix. Penix Jr. is going to have his moments of trying to figure out how (7-3). All right, guys, I'll be back probably after the game. Appreciate every single one of you. Smitty looked like a Smurf, says DC. I don't know what that means, bro. All right, peace out. Appreciate you all. Until next time. Probably will be back. Who do I have in the Super Bowl? Go watch my Super Bowl show, bro. My NFL bracket show. There's a 3.5-hour video on it. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Sick Nasty. Thank you, Vampy. Thank you, Blackbeard. Thank you, Space Ricky. Thank you, Travis Rowe. Thank you. We watched 2 drives together. I shall return.